Welcome to Runa Bad Guys Day Radio Network. Hi, I'm Skip Myers reporting on the Catch of the Day, where we like to highlight newsworthy stories where you help law enforcement ruin a bad guy's day. Today's Catch of the Day comes from KCRA News in Sacramento, California. According to California Attorney General Xavier Becerra, more than 30 alleged members of the Bully Boy and Cocoa Boy street gangs have been arrested in connection with a $1 million credit card fraud scheme spanning 13 counties across Northern California. It is easier today and more rewarding today to engage in identity theft and financial fraud than it is to go out there on the street and commit physical, violent crime. It pays more at a much lower risk, Becerra said. The Attorney General announced a 240-count indictment that included 63 counts of conspiracy to commit grand theft, 54 counts of hacking, computer access and fraud, 59 counts of burglary, and 8 counts of identity theft. According to Becerra, the gang members would burglarize dental and medical offices and steal credit card terminals to gain sensitive personal information. Then, they would issue fraudulent payment refunds and open debit cards, sometimes in the patient's names. Hey everyone, this is a great example of account takeover fraud and identity theft. As you know, account takeover fraud is a form of identity theft where a third party, these street gangs, gains access to unique details of customer information. By posing as a real customer, that's you, fraudsters can change account details, make online purchases, withdraw funds from your bank, 401k accounts, and even leverage that stolen information on a variety of other accounts. Not only were these terminals stolen, but the information on those terminals were also stolen, including patient records. The merchants who did find themselves burglarized did reach out to the patients and notify them of the data breach, according to Becerra. Numerous businesses in Northern California were targeted between 2015 and 2016, according to the indictment. Sacramento Police Chief Daniel Hahn said, "The people these gangs are victimizing is constantly evolving." So in this case, you see financial fraud and identity theft. But they are also involved in sex trafficking and other things that are outside the overt violence we normally see. But also make no mistake that we still have the violence that gangs commit in our neighborhoods, and we are very committed to that. This, however, is a great example of how gangs continue to evolve. Please note, everyone, most criminals who commit account takeover fraud typically don't steal the personal information themselves. More often, an identity thief will steal that data in bulk and then sell it on the black market or dark web. This practice has a much lower risk and puts more distance between you, the customer, and the fraudster. However, these particular cases show again how criminals evolve and find ways to steal your personal information. Remember, criminals commit crimes that are within their ability to commit. In this case, it was probably much easier for them to break into medical offices instead of taking time to hack into these offices' network and steal personal information. These arrests are accumulation of a 3-year multi-agency investigation of a series of burglaries and credit card schemes. Deputy Attorney General Tanya Austin said, "Any gang will cross boundaries if they can make money together. These two gangs would not traditionally be collaborators, but because there is money to be made, street gangs will always find a way to work together and set aside their boundary and territorial differences. Of the 32 suspected street gang members identified, 25 are currently in custody in Sacramento County. The remaining 7 are currently considered fugitives." So let's discuss some basic steps to help you prevent account takeover and help you protect your identity from fraudsters. Number 1, always check your bank account and credit card statements for questionable charges. Number 2, check and review your financial information on a regular basis. Number 3, order and review your credit report from one of the 3 credit bureaus at least once a year. Number 4, never give account numbers over the telephone or to anyone or companies that you're not familiar with. Number 5, choose passwords that are extremely difficult to crack and use different passwords for all your different accounts. Number 6, change those passwords often and those PIN codes too. And number 7, never ever store your PIN numbers on mobile phones or laptops. So let's recap. You can significantly reduce the risk of being victimized by account takeover fraud and identity theft by taking these important steps to protect your personal information. This has been a Runa Bad Guys Day radio production.
Thanks for listening to Ruin a Bad Guy's Day radio podcast with Skip Myers.
If you liked our show, please tell your friends and colleagues.
You can learn more about us at ruinabadguysday.com or visit us on Twitter and Facebook at Ruin a Bad Guy's Day.
Join us for another episode of Ruin a Bad Guy's Day radio podcast.
The information provided in Ruin a Bad Guy's Day radio podcast is for informational purposes only. It should not be considered legal or financial advice. You should consult with legal counsel or other professionals to determine what may be best for your individual or organizational needs.